this time a lot of students are applying to jobs, especially whether it be summer internships or post graduation. So I'm kind of wondering, what would be a few of the tips you would like to give students, like what helped you, let's say, get this particular job or any of the other positions you've got before, and what's something you would urge students to do as well?
Yeah, definitely. So honestly, I feel like for me, I really surrounded myself with the right people. When I went to going to Laurier, I was in the business school and I got into the co-op program. A lot of the people around me were also very motivated to get the best co-op that they could.
Yeah.
And I think initially when I was applying for internships, I was like, okay, like I want to be getting the best that I can as well. So I think that mindset really helped me, like surrounding myself with the
Yeah.
right people. And then after my first internship, we started really like narrowing down, like, oh, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. And in my second internship is when I was surrounded by a lot of, like my manager, for instance, he was a consultant in his previous life.
Yeah.
So his influence, like he taught me a lot of like consulting strategies and the mindset. And he was like, okay, you should
Yeah.
look into consulting. So that helped me make that pivot. And then even how I landed this job was because one of my really good friends was in consulting, and he mentored me and helped me with this Deloitte position that I'm in now. So I would say my biggest tip to everyone that's in school or looking for full time or like internships as well is like really network your way.
Yeah.
Whether that be in school, at networking events, wherever you may be, like your network really can help you find your next position.
Yeah.
At least it helped me find a lot of the positions that I was in, or it inspired me to try harder for certain positions as well.
Yeah.
My roommates were all like in big tech and data, and I'm, as someone in business, I was always very interested in tech, but I was like, I wanted to, and I knew I wanted to try consulting. So the fact that they were applying for such big shot roles was like, and pushed me to be like, I need to try because
Yeah.
I need to seek every opportunity out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think networking and surrounding yourself with the right people is my biggest advice.
Okay, perfect. And I think like out of the two that you mentioned, I kind of just wanted to stress a bit on like surrounding yourself with the right people ideology, because I feel like many people don't understand what that exactly means. And I feel like it really ties in well with networking in the sense, like, it applies both to the personal level and at the professional level, like when you are reaching out to people. So how do you kind of like define those right people, and like, how did you identify those right people for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's for me. I went to when I went to like Laurier, I was surrounded by a lot of like different type of people, but I was very fortunate to be in a program where everyone was very motivated anyway. So I think there's some luck to do with it, with what school you go to and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
But I think on top of that, when I was in my first year, I joined this entrepreneurship club called Startup Laurier. And everyone around me in that club was so motivated and um, so passionate about learning and networking and researching and just putting themselves out there
Yeah.
with opportunity. And I think joining a club like that, like really helped me realize that I can seek any opportunity out there as well.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that definitely helped me in university. And then, as I went into second, third, and fourth year, I naturally just was surrounding myself with people that, were of the same mindset as me in terms of we were all very career oriented, and more than career oriented, I think passionate about like learning and seeking opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, and I think when you surround yourself with those kind of people, you end up in a position where you're motivated to apply to bigger opportunities as well.
Yeah.
Um, and I think something I always kind of like live by, and all my friends even now, like I think my friends and I, we really challenge each other. Like all my friends work or are looking for really great jobs, or are working really great jobs, or are learning a new skill. And I
Yeah.
think you surround yourself with those kind of people, you're
Yeah.
constantly motivated to be learning a new skill or doing better for yourself. So I really believe in that, like saying that's like, you're the 5 friends you surround yourself with become the person that you are. I don't know if you've heard,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
Yeah, no, and I think that's really true because I have seen it through my personal experiences as well. I feel like, me also moving towards Deloitte, like coming from a kin background, moving into consulting, I don't think it would have been possible if it wasn't for my friends or
mm-hmm.
for like my family, like, people who were around me that time. And, like how because like whether it be them being in those specific fields and like them having experiences in those areas and thus being that motivated and driven to actually like achieve certain goals and certain objectives for themselves. I remember like last year this same time, each one of my friends was applying to jobs, and
Mm-hmm.
just seeing that energy, everywhere you go you're just hearing about it, you are motivated as well to do the same things. So I feel
Definitely.
like that really becomes important. And I think it applies to networking as well in a way. Like, when you are reaching out to a few people, reach out to people who you want to be like, maybe like, like
Definitely.
people you want to be in the same positions as in the future. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so do you have like a few tips in terms of like specifically in relation to like networking when it comes to around like, surrounding yourself with the right people? Like how do you find those right people in like networking or like when you're reaching out to these people from these different companies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So I think, I mean, in a world before COVID,
Yeah.
going to, there's certain events that you can go to that are catered to, like, I know for accounting, you have big four accounting nights. For tech, you have tech nights. And then for consulting, there's like consulting nights,
Yeah.
or there's clubs in university that you can go to that cater to those. So then you're automatically surrounding yourself with the right people to network with.
Yeah.
Um, based off of the career that you're potentially interested in. And I think you can apply that similarly to like virtual events. But I think outside of just actual networking events, um, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I even like on TikTok, I follow like a lot of like those LinkedIn
Yeah.
creators because honestly, LinkedIn, their filtering system is awesome. So I think like, and my sister who's currently in third year as well, I tell her to do this all the time, is like, if there's a certain company that you want to work for, look up that company and then you can go on to the people's filter and then you can filter through like what school they went to or even like different positions that people are working, and then like sending them a message and being like, hey, like I see that you work at like XYZ company and this position, and I'm currently a student and I really want to learn more about what
Yeah.
you do in this role because that's a role that I'm really interested in. So I think specifically filtering and reaching out to people that you actually think or their roles or the company that they work at are companies that you want to work at or a role that
Yeah.
you want to do really, really helps. And I think for the most part, I know for a fact that for me or any of my friends, whenever people reach out to us on LinkedIn and if it's like a personal message, we will always respond. Obviously,
Yeah.
sometimes people never see the message or are busy, but you're not losing anything by trying to message them, is my biggest tip.
No, definitely. And I feel like when you do put in that personal message, it shows the other person that, you're actually investing time into reaching out for them. And it's not one of those 10,000 messages that you're copy pasting
Definitely.
to
Definitely.
everyone. And I
Yeah.
think just kind of like adding to what you said, which is very true, is like, I think like I usually like use these 4 filtering options. And
Mhm.
if even one of them matches, I go forth and connect either
Mhm.
ways, because it's like, either you look for if they're working in the same company, the same position you want to be into, or if they have the same educational background as you,
Yeah.
like, especially like, for students who are coming from different backgrounds, I always emphasize that, see if someone is from arts, see if someone is from kinesiology like your background and has moved into consulting, because they'll resonate with you, and
Mhm.
they'll identify your struggles and actually be the best people to provide you
Definitely.
the direction. Or lastly, just look for people with similar interests.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
like if I'm very interested in diversity inclusion, I reach out to people. Like that was why I reached out to Alicia, and like now even to you, because Alicia said you are someone who is passionate about that area,
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
feel like it kind of just works like that. So I feel
Mhm.
like if those are the certain criteria it fulfills, like reach out, because yeah.
Yeah. I think people are like super willing to help, especially if they've been through, if they've been down the road of like struggle. They're
Yeah.
like, I wish I knew this earlier, and I think they're willing to share kind of what helped them.
Yeah,